Alrighty, let's go ahead and get this dev meeting started. It shouldn't take very long. So um, Arcus and I got the oneleaf.com domain set up on AWS. The only thing I'm worried about currently is how new builds like build to it and whatnot. We kind of need to figure out how we're going to go about that. I think what we're going to do is leave it in the state that it's in until V1 is done, and then we will overwrite the main domain. And then until then, we'll set up like dev.oneleaf.com that'll automatically be updated as the develop branch is updated. Does anybody have any concerns with that?
No concerns here.
Cool. I think that's the easiest option. And then the dev.oneleaf.com will allow the front end developers to test how the back end is set up. Because you
Is
guys can.
that up?
What's that?
Is that up at this point?
No. I was supposed to talk about Arik with that tonight, but he is busy this weekend. So we will do
Just
that
gonna be
first
a
thing.
subdomain?
What's that?
Is that just going to be a subdomain?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Sweet.
I don't know exactly how it's going to work. I'm awful at AWS, and it is way too complicated. But I will get that set up this week with Arik. Zach, you were working on search, right?
I was doing some research. I found
Yeah, I saw your
uh
Elasticsearch.
yeah, and how we
Basically,
can use that.
yeah, Zach found some article that we could do fuzzy searching. So basically, like you can like misspell things and it'll still find what you want. So that'll be super useful for the
Would that
back
be a
end.
backend
Yep, that'll be a
handling?
back end thing.
Cool.
Let me go. Let me pull up the. Which screen am I sharing? I'm sharing this one. Let me pull up the GitHub real quick. I just want to look through the tickets real quick and make sure we're still good to go to get things done. Okay, so backend, we have to add a database, implement a logging solution, testing, search API, and I think Arik was looking into JWT but hadn't done anything with it. So I think our primary right now is setting up that subdomain for you guys to test and then getting the search API up and running. Mm-hmm. Alright, got a ticket for that setup. As far as front end goes, I think, are you guys kind of on hold right now for the designs?
Uh,
I think, oh wait, no, we had tickets we set up last week.
so we have tickets set up. I haven't been able to do much.
Yeah, so I did some investigation onto auth protocols. They're kind of mix and match at this point. I didn't see anything that definitively said we should go with one. I heard good things from my coworkers about Keycloak and OpenID. They used it on one of our big contracts. I can't get any more information from them because I don't work for them anymore, and that information is now classified to me. um, but yeah, I'm fine with any. We have there's two things that go into auth, right? There's the authentication protocol and the token, right? So the authentication protocol is basically like we try and we probably want to go with whichever one's easiest, and then whatever token type is easily usable, which would probably be JWT since it looks like it's has easy integration with React. Um, so we could go with Keycloak if you already have experience with it. That way, it'll be quicker to set up, and it looks like it has all the features that OpenAuth does plus some.
All right.
But I will confirm that with Arik and make sure that he doesn't have any other concerns.
Say the login page is going to be weird with Keycloak because it's not styled. It's styled through a template, not through CSS. So looking how to make that.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's kind of you store the template on the Keycloak console that you deploy or run locally, and then it parses that for you or something.
Weird. Okay. Um, I don't think like this is something for V2, right? So this isn't imminently necessary. We should need to get the spike done so we can pick one, right? Um, what else is in it? It looks like Daniel got the page not found view done. Uh, and then who was working on profile page? Jacob.
Was
Okay. And then I have a little bit of copy to work on with Tina. Um, otherwise, yeah, we're kind of working on V2 stuff until the designs are done.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some PR review
Okay.
after I get work done today.
Okay. Yeah, I should go do the same. Actually, I think I already looked. Yeah, I already looked at them. Cool. Never mind. Oh, we need to rename username to email, don't we? In the back end.
Yep.
I don't remember if I made a ticket.
Also, one more thing too. I know this is version 2, but we need to figure out how we're returning stuff back to the user once the user logs in. Like if we're gonna return it via the token, or if we're gonna return it like you would usually return some JSON. Because if you return it via the token, like if you're using JWT, you'd have to decode the token and you'd get whatever data you send through the token. That way you wouldn't have to actually return any data from the front end when the person logs in.
Hmm. That's a good point. You want to make a ticket for that? That's a front end thing, right?
Well, not necessarily. It depends on how the backend implements the authentication. So we're still kind of waiting on that.
Okay. I'll have to do some more research
Yeah,
on
that's why I
the
said it's
authentication.
a V2 thing. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, I'll get a more definitive answer on how Keycloak and JWT will work together. That way I'm a little bit more knowledgeable on the topic. Shit. Right before you talked, I was gonna add a
Uh,
ticket. What was it? Oh, change username to email. Sorry, go ahead, FTB.
I don't remember what I was gonna say. I was gonna say something. I don't remember. Oh yeah. Do we have enough for the other branch? Because I'm supposed to be stripping off V2 stuff from um, the main branch. Do we have like enough stuff from the design to know that hey, this is set in stone, and so I know which pages to get rid of and which pages to keep?
Yeah, the MVP wiki has all the pages updated.
Cool. I'll get that done probably this evening or something like that.
Awesome, thanks, man. That's all I got. We don't like we're sitting in a pretty good spot. We're pretty far ahead of the design, so like I'm happy with the work we have done, guys.
Do we know like when it's going to be a concrete set design on most of these views? I know this was the first kind of meeting showing off everybody's work.
It looks like it's probably gonna be another week or two before designs are concrete.
Okay,
They
it
they
looked
have
really.
yeah, dude. I am so impressed with the designers, dude. It looks amazing.
Yay! I'm so happy too. Oh my god.
Our website's gonna be badass. This is awesome.
Like everyone's so good. I'm so happy. As far as like a set date, yeah, we should probably figure that out.
It's looking like
Like
2 weeks
week or two.
ish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
next
Hopefully
week we'll
it's
kind of have
soon,
a
but.
couple. Next week we'll probably have a couple of them hashed out.
Mhm.
It looks like, and then like a couple of them still had some work to do. Like the meet the team page looks like it will probably take another week on top of that.
I think
Yeah.
we need to think about how we're going to do that map because he's right about the worldview looking weird on uh, like how much of the screen we want it to take up. I don't know really how we want to handle that.
Me either, because I don't want to have like a full page for it. Like I don't want it to take up your full view and not have any of the members, because that's kind of what we're trying to do with meet the team. But at the same time, it's like such a cool feature that I almost don't want to leave it out. I guess.
What I was thinking would be cool, but it kind of defeats the purpose of the keeping it anonymous. Would be like if you hovered over someone's card, like the map would jump to over where their icon is from like a certain distance away. But then that would also,
Well,
what we were talking about, how people don't want their location shared.
I think people will have different levels of where they'd want. Like I'd be fine with my zip code being shared, for example, but some people may want their state or country only being shared. So like we could just put their pin in the middle of their country, for example. And that
Yeah,
and that wouldn't disclose anything. And then for people that don't want their location disclosed, even a little bit, then we just wouldn't put them on there.
yeah, and that's
But yeah,
that's one way I could think of handling it is just based off hover of the card, the map would jump to where that is.
the other thing I could think of is kind of having an expand button on the map. So like it would kind of just be automatically spinning, like the globe would just be spinning, like rotating like it would, in normal physics. So if you're just sitting on the page, the globe is just spinning automatically. And then there'd be some sort of expand button that has like a pop overview that you can like X out of.
Yeah.
That way, it doesn't take over the whole page unless you want it to. But I'm gonna go ahead and play around with that because that actually seems super fun. I love mapping and I've been working on it a lot at work, so I would enjoy
We would
working on
need
that.
The 3D globe, you mean?
Yeah.
Working on that. Cool.
we'd
Yeah, like
have to pay for that API, right?
If we hit over like 10,000 requests a second or something insane like that,
Okay.
I'll go get the actual pricing for it. At the worst case, we could just use the OpenStreetMaps API, and that's open source and free. I just know the Google Maps one is a little better. I don't remember why. It's been a while since I've looked into it. But OpenStreetMaps we could definitely use. The hard part is going to be basically they're going to give us a lat long from the API, and we're going to have to figure out how to do some sort of 3D library on top of that to map them. But I'm sure there's something out there for it. Anything else, guys? Like this is a quick meeting. I just want to make sure we all touch base.
Nothing for me. I've been a little busy with other things, but after Wednesday, I should be back in the groove.
No worries. It looks like next weekend we'll be kind of finalizing designs, and then we'll have a lot more to do on the front end. At least a lot more concrete things to do.
Everything's good on my end. I pushed the PR for the fetch wrapper. I'm sort of looking for more input as to what else to add to it because I feel like it's pretty lightweight right now. It doesn't really do much. It only does it holds the headers and it sets the methods for you and stuff like that. So if you guys have other suggestions, I'm more than open to implementing those.
Yeah, I'll take a look at that tonight.
Yeah, I'm poking through it right now. So setting headers just includes like the token, whatever we're gonna end up using, I assume, in the future.
Yeah, like I have it where we're exporting the actual methods, the HTTP verb methods like the post and delete and stuff like that. And what it does is it automatically sets that for you, so you don't have to pass in an options object. You can pass it in, but you don't have to because it automatically sets that.
Awesome.
And also, there's a set default headers too. Like if you're gonna have the JWT and you want it to be set every time you send a request to the server, you can set it as a default header. That way you don't have to mess with it each time you're making a request. Like once you do it at the beginning of the app or after the user logs in, it stays in there.
Oh, that's perfect, man. I think for now that's probably pretty good. But once we figure out authentication, then we can come back to it probably.
One more thing too. I think I asked that, and Zach said we only had JSON data. I just need to make sure, like, is it just going to be JSON data? Because right now I have it set up where it's expecting JSON data. So if there's other stuff we're going to be getting from the server, or if we're going to need to do anything that's not JSON, I need to modify that because right now I have it set up where it doesn't check whether it's JSON or not. It's just expecting JSON.
I believe everything is in JSON. All the payloads will
But
be.
yeah, as far as I'm aware, the body of the request or the response will be JSON. The only case
Is
I'm
image.
thinking is image,
Yeah.
which is JSON, but it's just base 64 encoded image, which we can change that into like actually hosting.
Yeah, we can put that
So
in
you
one of the
upload it,
Amazon
and
buckets
then
or something.
it's trying, yeah. So it's weird right now. That's the only thing I can think of that's different, but.
But yeah, it'll still be returned in JSON. It's just the actual data object itself will be like it'll take all the images data, turn it into a string, and then you just have to decode it when you get it. And Zach gonna like unencoding base 64 should be like inherent to just about any
I'll
language.
probably change that though, because I think I can just host the image and then give you the link to that, and then you can just present it that way instead of doing a base 64 decode or anything.
Yeah,
like that,
it'll probably be quicker to use one of the content delivery thingamajigs, and then just getting a
so
link to the right image.
I'll make a ticket for that right now, just
Sweet.
to make sure that I'm doing it best.
Only
Cool.
other
Sounds good.
only other thing is we need to find some sort of Amazon expert to help us with some of this stuff, or I need to start taking one of those Amazon classes. I feel like I've just cobbled things together, and I'm not sure exactly how they work, but they do. But that's a worry for another time. But yeah, thanks for coming to the meeting, guys. I don't have anything else unless you do.
Nope.
Alrighty, boys. Well, you have a good night. I appreciate you coming.
Great work, everyone.
Heck
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, that was loud.
That was really loud.
Sorry. I'm proud.